Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Nuclear Revenge. Story 1. Your bully son meses with us and you kill our dog. Prepare for dad. I posted this on r/ProRevenge but was referred to this sub instead after I posted a rage comic on r/memes. This happened in 1995 on a small rural town in Chaco province, Argentina. Everyone knows each other here until this very day. My father was an electrician, the only one in town, so he was constantly meeting people, and as he was born and raised here, he was very well known by everyone. He grew up with many of the police officers from back then, and they even had asados together, Argentinian barbecue, at least 3 times a month for years. My father was not a violent man. That was the only time I saw him do something like that. The other man with his busy son, they were not from town. They had moved here a year or so prior, they were from Buenos Aires. I don't really knew the guy, only his kid, who was an absolute asshole to almost every kid in the block, and he constantly picked on me and my brother since we were the youngest of our neighborhood, therefore couldn't defend ourselves. Bucky wasn't trained since we knew nothing about training, but he was loyal and playful with every kid. One thing for sure, though, he was protective. One afternoon we were playing in the park and out came Bully Kid, who at first threw rocks at us, then got closer and started calling us names, and us being little got scared. He was bigger than us. We tried to leave but he blocked us and started hitting my brother. I tried to stop him but he did the same to me. Bucky heard us crying and came running, jumping, and getting the bully's arm at once. He bit, shook and released, staying between us and the bully, barking like mad until the kid left running. We saw Hi get inside his house, and a few seconds later came father with the sledgehammer. Bucky stood in front of us, hairs raised and barking, but the man didn't stop. He got close, raised the sledgehammer and went straight down to Bucky's head. He did not hit him once, he hit him 5 times. The first blow I'll never forget. The sound of the steel connecting with the skull, the painful whimper of our dog. Bucky got knocked with the first blow. By the 5th and final his head was caved in. My brother and I were frozen in place, scared to death, crying a lot. The asshole dad say something which I don't remember now, and left. We were unable to move for a moment, such was our fear. Finally I grabbed my brother and went home. Dad was fixing a fan, and when he saw us asked us what happened. We told him and just said, right. Okay, let's wash your faces and grab some ice cream. Yes. That's what our dad did. Took us for ice cream. He did a pretty well job to mask his emotions and showed himself cheerful to us. That night, when brother was asleep and I was playing in the kitchen, he grabbed the wrench, told mom and I he had to fix something in the neighbor. I assumed it was another neighbor since it was a common thing for my dad to get asked by neighbors to fix things, nodded to mom, mom nodded back, yes, she knew, and left. He came back some minutes later, told me to go to bed, and that was it. A decade later we came to know what happened. He went to the guy's house, knocked on the door and punched the dude so hard it rocked his head back. Told him he would break 1 limb for each of his children whom he made cry. I can only imagine what he would have done if we were more than 2 kids, proceeded to beat the guy some more in front of his family and then took the wrench and broke his legs. He then left the house, went home, asked me to go to bed, talked to mom and went straight to the police, turned himself in and was actually delayed until the police went and checked with the other guy. My dad also showed our dead dog to them and the police found the sledgehammer on the bully's house still with blood on it, and they let my father go. They also spoke with the dude when he got better and suggested him to leave the town since if they weren't liked before, they wouldn't ever be now. To this, you gotta understand the mindset from some small rural towns. We looked at outsiders with mistrust back then, and it took a while for people to get used to you if you were new in town. However, these people came and weren't very much liked. Apparently because of the kid, and the father was also an asshole. I do not condone the actions of my father, nor am I justifying in any way the events that transpired then, but as a father myself I can totally understand to what extent can a man react when kids are at play. I loved my dad and I have mad respect for him. R.I.P. Dad, we miss you greatly. So there, that's the full story. Sorry for my bad English, it is not my native language. Thanks guys. Edit, wow. When I posted this I wasn't expecting this to get this much attention. Thank you all for your kindness and compassion. Recently and because of a message I received by one of you, kind people, I felt the need to include a part of the story that I originally left out involving Bucky, our brave dog. This is it, Bucky has descendants. My brother has what would be Bucky's grandpup now, and he's been adopting Bucky's lineage, if that's the correct term, for a few generations now. He did a good job at tracking down Bucky's litters. He had 2 litters in its short life, with the first being of 5 pups and the second one of 8. My brother, Leandro, remembered everyone who got to adopt Bucky's pups and to his surprise, he found Bucky's blood carried on and is still strong. He adopts a descendant from Bucky every time there's a new litter and has adopted 2 generations so far, every one a straight descendant from a male. All praise goes to my brother, who worried himself with keeping Bucky alive in his life. Again, excuse my English if I couldn't express myself the correct way or if it caused any confusion upon reading. I'll try to explain better in the story 2. Call took me out of the closet. Let me spill your own terrible awful into the world. I will be honest, this story is not mine, but about my 2 cousins, Alex and Steve. My mother is originally from a small town in the coastal region of my country. She left when she married my dad, but her 2 sisters stayed in the town. Alex is one of the sons of my youngest aunt, Steve is the son of my oldest. When they grew up, both moved to a big city in the region for college, but took way different paths. Alex went into a art-focused career and after 2 semesters came out as gay, while Steve went S.T.E.M and bathed himself in the machismo/homophobic culture of the region. You can guess they were not exactly close and, as far as gossip goes, they pretty much hated each other. As far as Alex's sexuality went, it was a well-known secret among the cousins and his brothers, teens and young adults, people with social media basically, but was never acknowledged in front of my grandma, the other adults or even his own parents. That was the context. Now let's get to the drama that unleashed on December 2017, at our family's Christmas party that, as always, took place in my grandma's old townhouse. By midnight, Steve was drunk and looking for a fight, and he thought Alex would be the perfect prey. While not the exact words, you could say this was the statement he shouted in the middle of the dance floor. Hey, Alex, where is your girlfriend? I don't see her around. Oh, yeah, you don't have one. Why is that? Hey, auntie, you know why your son didn't bring a girlfriend? Haven't you heard? Oh, that's because he is a sissy fa-ot. He FCK guys, or not, he lets guys FCK him, like the little B*TCH he is. Alex was speechless, and so was the rest of the family, including my grandma. They musicians even stopped the music playing. But before someone could even say something against Alex, he threw the bomb, trigger warning. At least I F***ck with humans, but let's not forget that your first girlfriend was the neighbor's donkey. You even tried to force me to F***ck her once, didn't you? And hell went loose. You see, in this particular area of my country, there is the extended myth that some men, especially teenagers, commit bestiality with donkeys. And in rural areas, is not entirely untrue. But it obviously is never spoken that openly or casually, especially when they are outsiders present. Like Steve's girlfriend from college, who he had invited. The poor girl literally threw up in the middle of the party while she started soothing herself and crying like there was no tomorrow. To make an already long story a little shorter, my parents, thankfully my dad doesn't drink and could drive, offered to take her back to the city. We left the party in the mid of shouting, punches, someone fainting at some point, and whatnot. But I would not post this here if this had ended there. Steve's now ex-girlfriend told what had happened to her city friends, to her parents, and basically anyone who would like to hear it. Steve was already known as a donkey f***er all around the campus before he had even come back from vacation, and his social life crumbled to dust. There was also a lot of cyberbullying involved, and he ended quitting university. He went back to the old town and is currently the owner of a bar. He also married a local woman, if anyone wonders what happened to his love life. On the other hand, Alex ended school and he stayed in the city as a designer. His homosexuality was basically overlooked by everyone, for obvious reasons, and he is in fact my very Catholic grandma's favorite grandson. The funny part of it all? With time this has been basically thrown under the rug in my family. We still hold Christmas parties at the old townhouse. Alex and Steve keep their distances but can actually speak to each other without murder intent, and we all agreed to forget what happened in December 2017. TLDR. Cousin A outed Cousin B in the middle of a family meeting, which ended in him revealing Cousin A's sexual encounters with an animal. This ended in Cousin A losing his girlfriend and leaving college. And it's all one giant family secret. Story 3. The incoming wave of fake bully stories just stop. A week ago, we allowed the first bullying story in a long time. It was actually pretty good and felt justified. But now, a lot of users with throwaway accounts are trying to farm their own version of the same story. What are the odds that when you allow one story of someone getting their face broken, multiple half-assed versions start to pop up including the same outcome? Here at NR, us mods are quick to spot karma farms. They show up. This has happened many times over the years. When a topic goes big, people try to cash out on it. A few previous examples would be the revenge porn stories from a few months ago and the garden/property sabotage stories from years ago. Honestly, there's too many to remember. Just stop. Post honest stories that aren't lazily written in under 5 minutes. We as a whole can spot the fake stories. Especially, us mods when we've had to sort through them for years. I'd say we're accurate most of the time. If we really dug into the dubious stories and investigated, the user would simply vanish. But all of this has me wondering. Should we even allow throwaway accounts? Or just go back to manual post reviewing despite the great amount of effort it requires? Story 4. World's nicest guy gets revenge on cheating ex-fiancé by living his best life. This is about a buddy of mine, the most decent guy you could ever be lucky enough to call a friend, and how he got nuclear revenge on his cheating ex-fiancé who dumped him for his best friend, all the while still being the most upstanding, greatest guy you can imagine. I've pieced this story together from things my friend and his wife have told me over the decade that we've been friends. There's not enough room to tell you how great this guy is, but believe me, he's been there for me like a rock when things were darkest. Cast of characters: let's call my friend Buddy, the ex-fiancée Lisa, and the hapless best friend Richard aka Dick. As you read this story, you have to always remember that Buddy is literally the greatest guy on the planet. Dick is, well, kind of a dick, annoying as hell, but my buddy says he always means well, and his heart is in the right place. Lisa is as big of a cheating, lying, self-centered narcissist as ever walked the face of the earth. Other people are Ray, another high school friend of Buddy and Dick, Jen, Buddy's wife, and Bob and Linda, Dick's dad and mom. All the names are fake. The background: our story begins when Buddy, Dick, and Lisa are all in middle school together at a typical suburban high school outside of Southern City, football team, Friday night lights, etc. The three of them are all in marching band, inseparable friends. If you know band types, Buddy plays the French horn, Dick plays the tuba. IDK what Lisa played? Probably the flute because it's a cliché. Buddy and Lisa are boyfriend/girlfriend, and Dick is a happy third wheel. As they get older, Buddy and Lisa explore the physical side of their relationship, like normal high school kids do, while Dick is happy to be a player. He's decent looking, so he has no problem getting action, and also occasionally makes use of the professional women in their town. This will be important later. Buddy and Lisa, typical good students, go on to prestigious public university in Southern City. Dick drops out of high school, but, a self-taught programmer, winds up with a decent career in tech. Buddy graduates college early with honors, and proposes to Lisa at his graduation dinner, with a small diamond because he's put himself through school and that's all he can afford. She accepts. Buddy gets a job at fancy consulting firm in prestigious city. Lisa finishes college back home in Southern City. Comes time for Lisa to graduate, Buddy helps his fiancée also get a job at fancy consulting firm. During her last spring break, she flies up to prestigious city to visit Buddy and interview for her job, gets pregnant. Flies back home, tells Dick she's in trouble, he takes her to the abortion appointment. Neither of them tell Buddy. Ever. I heard about this from Buddy's wife, who heard it from Dick one night when he was drunk. A fake Buddy still doesn't know. Buddy, if you ever read this, sorry dude. I should have told you but it wasn't my place. The betrayal, Lisa realizes, when she doesn't want to tell Buddy about her abortion, that she can't marry him, but she's not brave enough to break it off. Instead, she ghosts him and he finds out through the HR department of fancy consulting firm that she's turned down her job offer and won't be moving to prestigious city after all. Buddy calls Dick and Dick says, "Dude, I'm sorry, but it's worse. Lisa and I are now a couple. You can punch me in the face next time we get together." Somehow, Buddy and Dick decide that Lisa isn't worth destroying their friendship, so they stay best friends, going hunting together on Dick's family place in the country etc. Lisa is not happy about this, but Dick tells her that if she makes him choose, he'll choose Buddy. The follow-up, Buddy takes a year or so to get over it, and starts dating again. Pretty soon, he meets Jen and falls madly in love, crazy in love, and to make things better, Jen is just as crazy about him. In less than 6 months, they're engaged. Now, the thing you have to understand is that Lisa is drop-dead gorgeous. She's not tall enough to be a model, just average height, but she's got these giant blue eyes and super long eyelashes, long, shiny wavy dark brown hair, an exquisite face, and a terrific figure. She's prettier than a movie star and being beautiful is really important to her. Jen is pretty enough, but regular, and she really and truly DGAF. Dick travels to prestigious city, without Lisa, to meet Buddy's fiancée. He and Jen really get along, Jen gets along with everyone, and reports back to Lisa that Buddy is really happy, his fiancée Jen is awesome, etc. Lisa gets jealous and pouty when she hears about Jen's Ivy League education, but then Dick makes a point of telling her that Jen is nowhere near as hot as Lisa, so she'll stop sulking, at least until she gets an invitation to the wedding. Lisa pitches a fit, refuses to go, and tries to prevent Dick from going, but there's no way in hell he'll miss his best friend's wedding, so he goes stag. NBD, it's a super small, low-key wedding. At the wedding, Dick reconnects with another high school friends of theirs, a guy named Ray, whose date to the wedding was actually someone else's wife. Ray has a thing for married women. This is important. Buddy and Jen go on living their best lives. At some point, Buddy gets an Ivy League MBA. His career takes off like gangbusters, they pop out a couple of kids, Jen quits her career to be a Sam, they're rich as hell, still crazy in love, and blissfully happy. A couple of times a year, the guys get together and bring their wives along. At some point, Dick and Lisa get married. Buddy and Jen are not invited to the wedding, by the way. But the women get along okay. Jen gets along with everyone and Lisa is happy because she's thinner and prettier than Jen, especially after both women have been through pregnancy and childbirth. The years tick on. Things get complicated. One day, this is around 2008, when Buddy, Jen, and Dick are all playing WoW together. Dick gets them on TeamSpeak and tells a Haluva story. Dick and Lisa have continued to hang out with Ray, their high school friend who has a thing for married women. He's turned his eye on Lisa, who, even after 3 kids, is even hotter than she was in college. She's leaned heavily into the MILF role, meanwhile Dick has had enough of her nonsense. He's decided to divorce her 3 times, but each time, when he tells her, she cries and gets all pouty. They have one last time unprotected sex, she gets pregnant, and bam, Dick and Lisa's 3 kids. Ray goes in hard with his practiced seduction routine, and Lisa cries to Dick that she just can't stand it, and can she please just have sex with Ray? They do. Dick watches, goes in for sloppy seconds, and Lisa and Dick's marriage enters its suburban swinger era. Dick gives Jen and Buddy every gory detail over the course of a 2-hour conversation while they're all killing wolves on low-level outs in Elwyn Forest and Lisa is upstairs with a bottle of wine. It's obvious, during their next visit, that Dick wants to join in sexy fun times with Buddy and Jen, but they're not into that, and after an awkward 5 minutes, things go back to normal. The kids all play together, the women make small talk, and Buddy and Dick hang out together doing the normal things that guys do. Dick tells Buddy that the reason they're into swinging is that he gets off on watching Lisa being degraded, and Lisa gets off on making Dick feel like he isn't man enough for her. This marriage is not happy, but Dick wants to stay married, because Lisa is hot as hell, she's got a solid career, and he's a mid-level tech guy with a kid who works from home while he takes care of 3 kids, so he'll never be able to do better. Things get worse. Dick calls Buddy to chat. His marriage has gone to hell. Lisa has, in her words, met the love of her life. She's moved on from Ray and from the swinging scene and is now having an affair with a guy from the accounting department at her job. She's staying out all night. She's ignoring the kids. Dick and Lisa take the kids on a swank vacation to try to focus on their family and spends all her time crying because she misses her AP and she doesn't want to be there. She doesn't want a divorce because she knows she'll lose the kids, she's drunk all the time, and she doesn't want to have to pay Dick child support. She wants him to let her live whatever life she wants while he does all the cooking and cleaning and childcare, and still brings in 50% of the household money. Lisa also will not STFU about how she could have married Buddy and been like Jen, a Sam in a giant 5,000 square foot house with 6 bedrooms and a pool. I should mention that Buddy has also had a Neville Longbottom style glow up and gone from a nerdy band kid to a silver-haired super confident high-level executive in a top-tier consulting firm, whereas Dick is still the guy working from his basement in sweatpants, covered in Dorito crumbs. He has been working on himself, but there's no way he can compete in Lisa's eyes, although both Buddy and Jen tell me about Dick's great qualities. Lisa is jealous, hopping mad, and she blames Dick. Dude. Trust me, I know, she is bad news. Leave her, Buddy tells his friend. It is the last conversation they will ever have. Holy at number $% this is terrible, Buddy gets a call at work one afternoon. It's Bob, Dick's dad. Dick got drunk, woke up Lisa at 3 a.m., told her that he'd never loved her, that she'd never been enough of a woman for him, that he'd been visiting prostitutes during most of their marriage, and that he hoped she would go to hell. Then, he blew his brains out in such a way that the splatter went all over her and all over the bed. When the ambulance got there, she was hysterical, sitting on the curb outside the house, screaming over and over again, "Kill me too, it's all my fault, it's all my fault." Later, Bob would call Buddy to tell him that Lisa specifically says he is not welcome at the funeral. Bob and Linda, Dick's parents, step in to take care of the 3 little kids, who did nothing wrong and do not deserve this, while Lisa does nothing but work and drink. The coup de grace. About a year later, Buddy flies to Southern City to put flowers on Dick's grave and visit with Dick's parents, Bob and Linda. Bob is still in shock, but he and Linda have taken Lisa in as a daughter. Lisa's mom is dead and she's NC with her dad and stepmom, to try and help her through this as much as they can. Why did Lisa say it was all her fault, and why did she ban you from the funeral? Bob asks Buddy. What don't I know? What's the rest of the story? Why did Dick do it? The moment of ultimate revenge, Buddy thinks for a minute, and decides that it will help Bob and Linda to understand the tragedy that happened to their son if they know the full story. So he tells them everything. Bob and Linda have continued to do everything for the three kids, and they continue to treat Lisa well, because that is best for the children, but the clock is ticking. Lisa's remarried now. When the kids are old enough, Bob and Linda will tell them the whole story. The youngest kid will be 18 soon. Buddy is still grieving over his friend. Summary: what did Buddy do to get revenge on his cheating ex-fiancé? Stayed friends with the guy who stole her, letting her know how important she was to him versus the friendship. Moved on and married someone smarter, nicer, and less pretty, letting her know how important her best quality, only good thing about her was to him. Had a hell of a successful career, causing her much jealous anguish. Had a massive glow-up between 30 and 40, causing her much jealous anguish. Had a terrific marriage, causing her much jealous anguish and also letting her know that the problem in their relationship was not him. Respected her boundaries when she uninvited him to his best friend's funeral, causing best friend's dad to ask the fateful question that, ticks this over from karma to nuclear. Proof that living well is indeed the best revenge. Sucks about Dick, though. Buddy says he was the kind of guy who would come to your house when all hell broke loose, clean your fridge and make a 5-star dinner with whatever he could find. Nuclear vengeance wasn't worth the cost. I wish I had known him. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.